our special guest for today. Let's all welcome Aron Sōgi. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you so much. Wow, what an intro. I'm loving the energy here, and I'm loving hearing all these things about my past is like a refreshing, because I've been through such a different journey in the past few months that remembering my previous career of being in the film industry, it is refreshing. And oh yeah, that's what I used to do, because now, I switch modes, and I'm so excited to have this conversation with you, Jen.
And there's a lot more. There's a lot more that you gave us the details that what you're working at, what you're launching. The reason why we did not say that in the intro, because I feel that it's you are the perfect person to plug that later. Guys, for all the listeners and viewers out there, he is another thing that makes him amazing. My friend here is he's revolutionizing creative content, media, film, and why and how you will find out later when he promotes about what he is involved, what he is preparing, what is he doing and preparing to launch in the coming of days and months. So again, Aron, man, I'm a fan. I told you this off cam when we reach out to you, and I'm gonna say it again. Bro, thank you so much for spending the time. Thank you so much for being with us here in the show, given your busy schedule and everything that you're doing. Thank you so much, my friend.
Absolute pleasure. This is what it's about. It's not about getting more followers, getting more money. That's just all there so we get to connect with each other across the planet, wherever you're listening from, whether it's Australia or US or India or Japan, wherever you're listening, like we get to connect because of these silly tools like TikTok or Instagram or whatever social media platform it's trending in the moment.
And guys, he mentioned TikTok. Another thing that makes me say amazing is, wow, let's talk about 200,000 followers. that's
Mhm.
that's amazing. And then you can see that I'm a fanboy here. One video, one video that got 1 million plus views. How cool is that? And you know what, guys? The reason why he's gonna be sharing some valuable content about the topic later is connected to those videos. Why it's making an impact, why it's really engaging. But before that, I know you, but a lot of our listeners and viewers, they only see the end point, right? The success, the online personality, the huge number of following, the engaging posts, but they don't know the journey, what shaped you. And for me, that gives value for a brand, and you are a brand. That value comes from the journey, the process. My friend, who influenced you, or what influenced you to be in this position of greatness? A brief journey. Take us to your journey, my friend. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. So let's go back to when I was 12 years old, which was over 20 years ago. And my parents were divorced. And the way I get to spend time with my father was on the weekends. We went to the cinema together, and then we were chatting before the film and after the film. And one of the films we set into was called The Matrix.
Ooh.
Now, if you're listening and you're old enough to be alive and old enough to go and watch that film, like I watched the film at the perfect time. 12 years old is when you are deciding who you are and what you're about. Huge changes are happening in everyone's life. So 12 years of age, I'm sitting in that cinema, my jaw dropped, and we walk out of the cinema and like, what was that? That was insane. Like the visuals, the technical achievement as a film itself, the idea of AI coming, the internet coming, that we are in this computer generated world, and it was so ahead of everything. If you watch that film now, you'd be like, oh, cool, I've seen a lot of films similar to this, but that revolutionized the film industry.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with how films are made. I started asking my dad, how is this made? And then we watched behind the scenes. And once I realized how they're doing it, I wanted to replicate it. So on the weekends, I had my little camera I'm going to make a TikTok video how I made a 20-minute like Matrix, my version of the Matrix. And I'm
Are you gonna do the classic way, like the number of cameras that they use, or the modern way?
I'll show you. I'll show you how I've done it. And in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna make a video on how I've done it. But that just sparked my love for films at a much deeper level than just watching it, like becoming a creator. And then I watched films like The Gladiator and other films that had huge impact on me emotionally. And I found, wow, these films inspired me to become a better person, and they moved me. These are so powerful, and everybody's watching these films across the globe. I want to be making films that help and inspire people the way these inspired me. And you learn from stories. Like, as humans, we learn from stories, and a film is the most amazing art form that combines all the arts of visual storytelling, of storytelling, of acting, of music, of the production design, sculpting, painting. Everything can be merged into this one medium, and I just found it so powerful. And when I started making my little films, and my parents were giving me feedback, loving it, hating it, but I just fell in love with it. And then I was 17. My parents said, okay, so what are you going to do about university? And I said, I really want to become a filmmaker. So they said, you are in the wrong country, which was Hungary at the time.
Did they say that?
Luckily, my parents kicked me out.
Did they say that there's no money in filmmaking?
It's not just there's no money, it's also the film industry was way smaller than right now. And to get into the film industry, because there were not enough jobs, like everybody who's been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years, of course they're going to be prioritized. So there's not enough films. The films that were made were not up to Hollywood standards. Now there are many Hungarian films that are very promising and doing great. And I was like, and always I wanted to be one of the best in the world at what I do. Originally, it was going to be football. And then I got Lyme disease, which was an interesting stage of my teenage years that ended my football career. But I said, great, because I have now time to go to the top, because as a filmmaker, you've got till the age of 80 or 90, you've got filmmakers at that age. But at football, 35, 40, you're done. So I went to London, I got into film school, which was crazy because I only applied to one university in the world, didn't apply in Hungary, and in London just one. And I went and I said, I'm going to be one of the biggest filmmakers in the world. And they were like, okay, cool. But I convinced them. I was so convinced I'm going to do it that they said, you were so convincing that I got in from 2,000 applicants to 50.
Wow.
And then I just worked my freaking butt off through university. I worked in 120 productions while being at uni. And when I was graduating from university, as I was graduating, I was already working on The Dark Knight Rises, because I was so determined to become a filmmaker who can impact millions in the world. And I didn't want to make films that a few people watch. I wanted to be making Oscar level films. Okay, that's a 12-year-old's model of the world. I'm a football player. If you're winning trophies, you are the best. So I thought, if I want to be the best filmmaker, I got to be winning trophies. What are the trophies in the film industry? Oh, it's got an Oscar. Great. Let's go for the Oscars. So that was my model of the world. So for 14 years, from the age of, let's say 14 till 28, I'm going for the Oscars every day. I'm like, it's done. It is no question. I'm winning it. But then I watched a few documentaries on the plastic pollution in the ocean. And how we are driving animals to extinction in Africa, and how we are cutting down the forest, and how it's no longer about our grandchildren or our children. It's about us now. In a few years' time, we're going to be affected to it. And a lot of people are already affected. And I watched this film. Have you seen Home? A documentary, all shot from the air, beautiful music. And there's a narration of a woman. And she talks like Mother Earth is talking to you. And I mean, tears, and it's moving. And as cheesy as this sound, I fell in love with this planet. And I said, I wish I could do something. And the voice said, you just got to make a massive career shift. It's not about going from being a dentist to now being an oceanographer, however you pronounce that word. It's about, you're a filmmaker, just make films about the challenges in the world. So I said, I hate freaking documentaries. They look so shit. So I decided I'm going to be on a mission to bring the Hollywood world cinema film aesthetics into the documentary filmmaking. And that's my mission. That's what I want to be doing. So you're watching this documentary, and there are a few documentaries like that already. If you see an Ivory Game, it's like that. You're watching it and you're thinking, is this fiction or is it reality? And you find out, no, it's real. This is happening. People can get shot right now. And I felt these filmmakers are going out there making a measurable impact in the world. And I said, I'm going to set up the world's largest environmental video production company where we're going to make measurable impact and accelerate the everything that these organizations are doing, whether they're saving animals, whether they're cleaning the ocean, whether they're doing reforestation. This is what I'm going to be doing. So I quit my job, but then there is the money side, right?
Yeah.
I'm a full-time employed filmmaker.
Right.
And I worked my butt off for a year to save up money. That allowed me to have 6 months to build my business.
Yeah.
So for 6 months, I went TikTok, because I thought if I make an educational business, then I can sell my knowledge instead of selling my time. And I love educating. And then I'll have a portable business that allows me to start making these environmental videos and not having to worry about making money from those videos initially.
Right.
And here I am on a podcast with you.
Ooh, amazing. Amazing, man. I mean, that's not an easy journey. I mean, I feel you. Moving because you have a vision, taking all the risk, and that's not an easy thing to do. You have your dream, you have your vision, you know where you want to go, you know what you want to do, you know what you want to achieve in life, but it's reality. There's a money issue. Would you take the leap? And clearly you did, and see where you at right now, and that's a good thing. That's an example to everyone, but it's not easy. Man, I love that you really focus on, focusing on those aspects that really make a difference. Like, that you want to win awards, where you want to go, and how to get there. And now that you are in a, we can say a modern platform that revolutionized content, not only in film, but you are now in a fast-paced content that really engage, that really connect, that really makes a difference. Again, guys, for everyone that is listening and watching to this podcast, my friend Aron now is releasing, he's streaming live on TikTok. It's it's a last minute thing that we talked about. It's
spontaneous.
Yeah, it's an early access for this podcast because this is not yet released on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So if you want to be a part of this conversation, and guys, I want you to be a part of this conversation because he's going to be dropping knowledge bomb later. If you want to be a part of this conversation, go and find him, connect with him on TikTok. He's streaming live now. Go and find this amazing human being. Having said that, Aron, I mean, again, Dark Knight Rises, Murder on the Orient Express, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, those are massive projects, and Batman, those are massive projects. But but now you are releasing content that is connected to you, your brand. It's a different content compared to those cinematic projects. Now it's fast paced, it's really connecting, and it's very challenging in the world of content creation. And clearly you are doing something unique and magical, so to speak, that makes it successful, that makes you successful. Now, the topic for today, guys, the reason why I'm highlighting that scene, that sequence there, is because we are all in the content making, the content journey era. So, how to create engaging videos for social media is the main question. And we have an amazing human being that can really answer and give values to that question, because clearly one video made 1.5 million and still gaining traction. Now that says a lot. Guys, how to create engaging video for social media. Aron, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you, Jen. I just like to answer that with one question to you. When you are in love with a person, what would you do for that person?
If I'm
What would
in
you
love,
do?
yeah, I'll do anything. I'm gonna court
I
her.
love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Now tell me, when you feel freaking unstoppable, what's possible?
Oh,
Tell me what's possible.
everything is possible.
Everything is possible.
Yeah.
So before we ask ourselves how we can create engaging content, first let's figure out what is going to get us to our destination, to your
Mm.
vision. What will get you to the vision is for you to create the vision before you start, and you attach emotion to it, which is love. When you're
Mm.
in love with someone or something, you would do anything to get there. Then you need a fuel to get there. What's going to be your fuel? Not your time, not your money, not your skills. It's going to be human emotions. It's going to be you feeling unstoppable, you feeling love, you feeling creative. If you are creative, if you're playful, if you are excited, you can always find a way.
Mm.
Now, what ends up happening is people come to me and say, how do I make engaging content? What's the right hashtag strategy? What's the right music? What's the right time to post? What's the right length?
Right.
And I always bring them back to, before we jump into what I call the book of how, which is this thick of a manual,
Mm.
and it's filled with tiny text, step one, step two, 700 pages, this thick.
Mm.
If I said, here you go, you'd be like, oh, this doesn't look easy. I don't know if I can do this.
Mm.
And you flick through it. And even if you get started, you're going to get to a point when you feel burnt out, exhausted, and you're going to feel like giving up. In that point, the reason why you give up, it's not because it's hard.
Mm.
The reason why you give up, it's because you're asking yourself, what's the point of this? Because it's meaningless for you. There's no strong why behind it. You got to get clear on the vision first. You're going to get clear on the why first. Like you mentioned it, Aaron, your journey wasn't easy, not easy decisions. The greatest gift my father gave me as a teenager was not money, was not skills. He just gave me perspective on life. He said, Aaron, do not ever ask for the journey to be easy. Ask for it to be meaningful.
Mm.
And then you will not care if it's easy or hard. And that's what I always focus on. And that's why, without sounding arrogant, whatever I put my mind to, I become excellent at that. Not because I'm so great, but because I understand the fundamentals that it will get hard. But it's like, if I gave you a spoon right now, go and dig a 2-meter deep hole in the garden, go do it. You may be like, all right, well, I love challenges. Let's do it. And you're like 30 centimeters deep, 40, you're like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is waste of time. But I said, go dig that hole with a tiny spoon, 2-meter deep, and you will never have to work another day in your life. And finance will never be a question in life. You'll be like, give me the spoon. You know what? Right. I don't need a spoon. I just dig it out with my finger.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get excited about figuring out the how. And imagine if I told you, get clear on your vision, get clear on your why. And then when you're like, let me out. I want to do this. I want answers. I want to find it. You get very resourceful. And then I say, guess what? I have the book of how. You've got the book of how? Everything I need to do? That's awesome. You open it up. Wow, it's step by step. I love it. Thank you. And you go through it and you're excited. But everybody starts with the book of how. And people will get scared and don't even start. And some get excited and start. And then they give up when it gets hard because they don't have the fuel. The fuel is your why. The fuel is human emotions. Like people ask me, so when do you make content? How do you get into state? How do you energize yourself? Because you've got great energy. How do you, like, I love this. I wake up. I cannot wait to do it. When it comes to going to the gym, that's a bit harder because I don't love it. I love playing football. I love doing activities, but to go to the gym and lift weights, I don't love it. I love the results. I jump in a cold shower every single morning. I don't love the idea of jumping in, but when I come out, I feel amazing. So I do it. And I exercise muscles that matters, which is the courage muscle of like, I'm going to go in because I know it's going to make me feel great, but I don't want to do it. So when I have to have a hard conversation with someone in my life, I'm trained now to say we're going for it because it must happen. It's a hard conversation, but it's like ripping off the plaster of a wound. You're doing it slowly. You go back, you do slowly. You just go, hey, one move. Or another example I like using is the elbow. You don't want you extend your elbow and there's a point where it's so painful, I cannot go anymore. If you just had the courage to go, wait, and it clicks out, the pain is gone. But it's just pushing yourself through that limit where you thought, I cannot take no more. And when you push through that limit, I cannot take no more, pain disappears and everything you want in life appears.
Ooh, guys, those are knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb. Love that, man. So, wow, I am blown away. I know our viewers and listeners are blown away. So, okay, let's clearly we started off based on what you shared with the mindset, right? Mindset, heart, arrange everything. The foundation should be in place. And I couldn't agree more. I always tell this, intent comes before content. Your intentions should be always sorted out before anything else, maybe in podcast, video creation, anything. Build that foundation first, and then you can make a difference. Now let's jump on the externals, the technicalities, because clearly
Yes.
having a proper mindset is not the only solution. All right, we have that in check. We have the popular Simon Sinek's the why, the how, and the what. We have the intent. We sorted the foundations. Talk me through technicalities on TikTok, because clearly
Yes,
you are the
100%.
right person to share about that.
Well, I don't know about that, but everything I know, I'm happy to share. I don't know everything, and I'll tell you when I don't know something, but everything I know, I don't hold anything back. And as you said, the mindset alone is not going to get you there. Thinking that you can do it is not going to get you there. So you need to take the actions. But if Real Madrid is playing against a tiny team, it's not the lack of skills or the lack of players or the resources that's going to make it decide if they win or not. It's can they get into that state when they feel freaking unstoppable. And it's easy to get into that state when you're playing against Barcelona, because it's like the game of the season. But you're playing against a team that is at the bottom of the league, it's not as easy to get into the state. And you'll find those games to be like draw, like 1-1, 0-0, because they cannot get into that state. It's the same team, same knowledge, same everything. It's that mindset that you can get into. But now that we lay that foundation, as you said, let's talk about TikTok. So TikTok, I've got my ebook, and the reason I'm saying it is because the title of my ebook is the subtitle, Learn to Speak the Language of TikTok. And the reason why I love this is because if you go, because people say like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this TikTok thing because it's really not me. I say to people, look, you go to a funeral, you go to a football game, you go speak to your grandmother, it's always you. And depending on the environment and the scenario and the situation, you bring out the side of you that is suited for that situation. So it's learn to speak that language. So it's still you, but you will behave differently. You talk differently. Like here, we're talking differently than if I had to give a presentation to business owners. It will have a different tonality. It's still me, but that's what is respectful to that environment, to that community. And when you can do that, and people are like, oh, you just want to be me. I just want to be raw. Ask themselves, is that your end goal in life, to just be how you feel? Or is your goal, what's more important for you, to be special or to feel connected with other people and help others? What's more important to you? Decide on that first. Because if you just want to be different, then go on TikTok, watch what everybody's doing and do the opposite. and you've got your goal. But I bet you're not going to feel connected to people. And I bet that that's not going to be helping a lot of people, unless those who like, yeah, I feel inspired to go against the flow. I'm going to go against the flow. So in a weird way, you did help someone. But when we focus on truly helping others, that's when something magical happens. And without sounding esoteric, I truly believe that more energy flows to those who are committed to serve others, because life supports those who support more of life. And you know yourself, Jen, that when you're trying to help someone you love, you have more energy than if you're just trying to do it for yourself.
Right.
Because it's a biological system in the body. You get access to more energy when you're trying to support more members of your species. So it's nothing, it's not like being spiritual here. It's just how
human
life
nature
works.
Yeah.
But business is a spiritual game. Business is about expanding your consciousness. And as big of this word is consciousness, if I can simplify it, is just caring. Consciousness is caring. Because when you are egocentric, which is the lowest level of consciousness, you're only caring about yourself. That's it. Once you start caring about you and maybe a friend, or you and your parent, or you and your sibling, or you and your child, if you're growing up, now you are in the ethnocentric, which is life is not just about me, it's about we. And if you can bring that to your business, that it's not about how can I get more followers? How can I get more money? How can I get more stuff? Hey, I have everything that every human being on this planet needs right now. Really?
Ooh.
What is it? Your presence, your caring, your love, your kindness. That's what everybody wants. No, people want the money. No, they want the money so they can live a life where they can experience the love, the kindness, and feeling special and be present. And you have an infinite. I was helping someone just in a DM on Instagram who's like, oh, I really want to succeed. I'm like, why? And then finally he realized, I really want to succeed because I want to help my family and my neighbors, and they're going to be so happy once I have all this money. And I said, how about you make them happy right now?
Right.
How about you walk over to your neighbors and say, I never told you this, but in the back of my mind, I'm so inspired and so juiced to become successful so I can help you. But before I can give you material help, I want to just tell you how much you mean to me. I want to tell you how much I love when you come out in the morning and I see you drinking that coffee and that smile on that face. I know not many people see that, but I see it in the morning and it lights my day up. And I love that about you. And also, like, you are one of those people I highly respect. And it's no, like, you know, BS compliments, like sincere ones. But not just, I like your shoes. No, I like when you do that because it tells me that you care. And I really feel deeply connected to those. You tell these to people and then you're like, hey, how are you feeling today? Tell me what's on your mind. And you are present with them. Your location has got nothing to do with your presence. Presence got to do with the openness of your heart and and your caring. That's your presence. Because I have friends who are like on Facebook while I'm talking to them, scrolling, not checking emails, just scrolling. And I'm like, bro, like we meet twice a year. Why are you not present with me? Oh, I'm listening. I can repeat everything you said. But you may not see that I've got watery eyes when I'm saying these things. That's part of communication. You don't see that, or you don't see that my necks are so tensed up that the veins are popping.
Right.
But you can tell me what I said. But if I told you just this, yeah, I mean, it's just the visual cues are part of communication. And the ultimate communication is hearing what's not being said. And you cannot hear that unless you are looking with your eyes. People are listening with their ears. I tell everyone, listen with your eyes, listen with your heart. And the ears are just one element.
Love that. Actually, yeah. So we can switch.
Keep going back to these points.
No, let me just add something to what you just said, because that's like life-changing about, you know, really listening. Actually, people can hear stuff. They're, you know, common people in a common scenario, they will hear stuff, but not everyone truly listens. That's what you're aiming at. You know, if you really, and that's hard. Human nature is not geared, it's not hardwired in our nature to really listen, because listening, you have to be disciplined, because once you listened, you are spending time, you're investing time to that person, to that situation, you're involved. And I love what you highlighted, that, you know, people in this noisy generation, we have social media, we have a lot of things happening, and they're just, you know, passive, hearing things, but not really being involved. And by listening, you put your heart and soul. Love that, man. Thank you for focusing on that. And, you know, that really makes a difference. That's the reason why people, brands stand out from the crowd. It's not because of, yes, technicalities and other things are factors, but once you put your mind and your heart in the right direction and you learn how to listen to people around you, your tribe, then you're going to make connection. Then you're going to make, you know, transformation that affects people's lives, that transform people's lives. Love that, bro.
100%. And people would say now, thinking, okay, why is Aron talking about listening where I'm on TikTok talking? It's not about listening. Well, let me give you a different perspective. You build your community and your following in the comment section. And that is about listening. That's not about talking. It's about, what are they saying? What do they want? What can I bring to them? It's about listening. People say, I'm scared to go on live. What am I going to tell them? Nothing. You ask questions, you listen, and then you respond and you ask more questions and you listen. That's the live. And I know a lot of people are scared of going live. And, you know, we keep going back to the mindset and the heart set. But the reason why I keep going back to this, because 80% of your success will come down to that. If you have these fundamentals down, because I'm not successful because I know the right hashtag strategy or figure out the algorithm or know that all these things, is because I've got the fundamentals down. The only thing I'm focused on growing, it's not the number over my head, it's myself.
Mm.
You know, I listened to over 100 books in the last 3 years, educating myself, not fiction, but okay, mindset, money, consciousness, all these things. And you can learn stuff. For example, here's what I learned from reading a money mastering book that applies to TikTok. Here's what everybody's doing on TikTok, trying to time the market and trying to pick stocks. Now, if you're not familiar with with financial terms, what most people are doing is trying to find the perfect trend at the perfect time and post at the perfect, and you're trying to always time the market. There is a big difference between that than having a portfolio. The portfolio is all your investments,
right?
That overall will always bring you in solid returns. And that's what my TikTok is about. And that's what my educational platform is about. What is the content that you can put out every single day and you know you're going to get a lot of views? It's not about, oh, let's try to find the perfect trend, the perfect music, the perfect time, because that will always change. And you may get lucky once, or you may got it right once. Like, oh, I know what to do next. And it's not going to work the next time. And you're going to be up and down in this roller coaster. If you focus on the fundamentals, you're going to have a much higher floor than most people. So your average viewer count on a video is not going to be in, let's say, in the 1,000 range, but at the 20,000 range on the same account, because those accounts are looking for the one-hit wonders. So they may have 100,000 followers like you have, but their average view when they put out a video is 1,000 and yours is 20,000, because they had 3 videos that popped to 2 million and that brought in enough followers to be at 100,000. But if that person tries to offer a product or service, that audience is a lot less engaged than somebody who's got consistently 30,000 followers and who are engaged. Why are they engaged? Because you're making your content conversational. I always tell people, think of TikTok as FaceTiming a friend. You want to keep it in that way, but you want to have your energy up. So it's not like FaceTiming a friend while you're feeling down. You can do that, and those videos can do great if you're being authentic. But it's about like, hey, I'm excited to share something with you. I just found this out. Like, Jen, like, look, I just heard this podcast tip. I know you would love it. Let me tell you. And you're like, oh, cool. Like Aaron, he always gives me great tips. What is it? What is it? And it's like a friend, and you want to think of it like that. Now, another metaphor that I like using these visual metaphors. I'm a very visual person because I believe when I use it goes deeper in you. So what I say to people is TikTok is the game of stopping the baby from crying.
Ooh,
that's what you're trying to do. Why? Because you always want to have something happening for them not to get bored. As soon as they have a split second, they drift off, they're going to skip. It's like a baby starting to cry if nothing is happening. Then you go like, doing all these things, right? But if you do too many of these things, the baby feels overwhelmed and cries again. So you don't want to have too many text and too many emojis and too many things too fast going on, because then they're like, I cannot follow. They skip. So it's finding that sweet balance of keeping the pace up, keeping them stimulated through text bubbles, through sound effects, through emojis. And here's a big distinction that I made a few days ago that I'm telling everyone on my mentorship program. So it's some exclusive content here, Jen, but I know you're a big Batman and big fan of the content that I put out. So I just want to bring something really special to the audience. So strategic, however you pronounce that word, strategic placement of 2 words. Okay, think of 2 words in your video. The first one is your niche specific word. So whatever, it may be podcast, it may be makeup, it may be health, whatever the keyword is that gives an idea to the viewer what the video is about. So you want to place that at the beginning of the video. So I just finished writing up, I worked on it for like 2 weeks, my hook template. But in there, I explain to people, if you say, hey guys, in today's video, I want to talk to you about the importance of, that was blah, blah, blah on TikTok. You don't have time for this. Why? Because people who see you on TikTok, most of the viewers come from the For You feed. They have not seen you before. They don't know who you are. Now, if you posted this video on Instagram, it would do better because the feed there is seen mostly by the people who follow you. So if Jen comes on and says, hey guys, in today's video, I want to talk to you about the importance of really making a solid podcast, then I'm like, I know you are about this and I'm waiting to learn more from you. If you started your video like this on TikTok, it will not work. But if you started a video to make a solid podcast, the one thing you need to focus on is this. What have you done? Now you made it clear who the video is for, and you created curiosity. Because instead of saying the number one thing to make a successful podcast is to be present with your viewer, you don't say that. You say, to make a successful podcast, the number one thing to do is this.
Wow.
And then you say, by the way, most people do not realize how to make a great podcast. And if you don't understand this one fundamental principles, you're getting low views, you're putting all this time. So I'm giving you the pain points, and then I'm giving you your desires. And if you want to get more people to listen to your podcast and you want to start making a bigger impact, then you just got to understand this one thing. And the one thing is you got to be present with the people. And then you mind read your audience. They'd be like, present, is that it? So then you play a moving sticker on the screen that goes like this. Or a mind-blowing, like one of these.
Right.
Because now you giggled because I was mind reading those of the audience who's gone, that sounds too simplistic to be true. And then you follow up with saying, I know this sounds too simple to be true, but let me tell you, it works. Because this is the only advice I gave to my friend who had 10,000 people listening. Now 150,000 people are listening because he's focusing on being present. Now you give an example like this and you end the video with, okay, I just made up this term right now, a hidden WTF. Okay,
hidden
let me
WTF.
expand on this.
All right, okay.
A hidden WTF. Okay, you understand what I mean by this. So at the end of the video, you know what a CTA is. For those of you who don't know, it's a call to action. Follow for more, like the video, share the video, etc. The most important metric on TikTok, the most important action you want people to take is to follow you. Why? Right. Because the people, that's how you grow on TikTok. You're being exposed every day to a new group of people. If you don't ask them to follow you, they will not follow you. Why? Because you keep popping up on their For You feed every single day. So they think they are following you. It's a new way of consuming content. Because on Facebook, you see the people you follow. Instagram, you see the people you follow. TikTok, you see the people do not follow. So I had a client who booked a one-on-one with me after a month of not following me, thinking she was following me. Because the only difference between following or not following is the little plus sign.
Yes.
That's it. It's so hard to see for people who are new to this platform. And let's be realistic. It's 2022 when people start to take TikTok seriously.
Yeah.
So a lot of people coming to this platform, what is this weird thing that's going on here? So they don't know that if they keep seeing you every day, that means that they are not following you. So you want to ask people to follow you. But instead of just saying follow for more, which is something that I call verbally invisible, it's like you move to a house and there is a train track next to it. And you're like, oh man, the worst decision to move here. And then 3 months later, you don't even hear it. And your friend come by like, how can you live here? How can you sleep here? This is insane. Like, what noise? I don't even hear it. Follow for more. It's one of those train noises. People don't hear it anymore. Everybody's using it. And follow for more what? Follow for more. Yeah. So the WTF doesn't stand for what you think. It stands for why to follow. Give people a reason to follow you. What's the benefit for them? What's in it for them? What can they get from it? Not what can you get from it? So my mindset is I've just given you value instead of me now asking for a follow, which is what I can get. I say, hey, if you want to take your smartphone videos to the next level, hit the follow. It's about you, still about you. And it's about me telling you that this is my content. So instead of saying follow for more or follow for more video tips, I can say, if you want the best quality of your smartphone, hit the follow. Right. So I'm giving now a reason to follow. Or I say, I have 2 more videos on video quality coming up this week. Or I just say, or you can create curiosity. You may not want to miss out on my next video. Just saying, boom, and then you end it. Now, the 2 distinctions that I made. First, have the keyword as early as possible in the video. Why? Because people may never seen you. Jen comes on the FYP. He's like, hey guys, in today's video, I want to talk about, oh, screw this guy. I don't know who he is. But if you start to make a successful podcast, I immediately know if this video is for me. And at the end, you do a hidden WTF. So we know what WTF is now. How do you make it hidden? You blend it into the last sentence. Right. So you do it this way. And let's say the last sentence of your video of giving value is like, you also want to make sure that you have great lighting for your podcast, right? You say this. That's the last sentence. Just bear with me. So instead of saying this is your last sentence, you say this. You must have great lighting for your podcast. And if you want to know the best tips on how you can crush it in 2022 with your podcast, hit the follow. Ooh. So you did not know that this is a call to action because it seemed like it's part of that sentence. because all you did, you said and instead of saying and follow if you want to make great podcasts, you say if you want to make great podcasts, hit the follow, and you end the video there. Why is this so important? Because completion time and percentage of watch time are the two most important metrics on TikTok for the video to be pushed out. So if you make an amazing content, I call this my triple E approach, which got me to 100,000 followers in 4 months. Triple E approach. I mean, I came up with this because I thought it sounds cool.
It is.
Triple E approach is basically making your content, engaging, entertaining, and educational. Every content can be like this. People say, what about inspirational? I'm like, you cannot make every single content inspirational, but you can make them educational and entertaining and engaging. You can make that. So that's my triple E approach.
Triple E.
So you start the video with a strong hook, makes it clear who the video is for, who this video is for, and what's the problem that you're addressing in this video. Then you tell them their pain point, you tell them their desire. Like, you know how frustrating it is when you're trying to upload a video from your phone and it doesn't allow because it doesn't have the function. Freaking frustrating. And if you don't do this, you may not be able to grow at the speed that you want. Now, here's how you do it. So I went into the why first. I addressed I hooked you in by an interesting hook that created curiosity. Now you're like, oh, I'm interested in this video. And then I say, by the way, instead of telling you the how immediately, I just go into your pain points, which is where your why lies. Which is like, hey, like if you're not doing this, then you're missing out on followers, you're missing out on views. And the best thing is it's so simple. I'm going to give you right now. Watch this. 3 steps. 1 step, 2 step, and the 3rd step, you blend the hidden WTF. This is, I'm going to trademark this. I just came up with this. That's why I love these conversations, because I'm always thinking of, new things. And then you end the video with, you have the word follow as close as possible to the end of the video. Because take this, Jan, you've been following me for a while. Yeah. So if you hear me at the end of my video say, hey, follow if you want to learn more about how you can get the best lighting out of your phone, you may skip the video as my follower. Once you hear the word follow, because like, oh, here is Aron's call to action. I'm following him. I don't need to listen to this. You skip, but then there's no completion time. There's no completion. People you did not complete my video. That's the biggest metric TikTok is looking at. Are people completing video? If everybody completed a video in the first 200 people, you're getting 100% completion time. That video is bound to be viral. It's bound to be viral, but people are not completing it. Why? Because I had a client who took 13 seconds for the call to action. I'm like, people, when they can smell, this is a call to action, they're leaving, especially if they're already following you. Right. So hide it.
Oh, wow.
But do say it. Because you have to say it. Why? Because people are like, oh, but I don't like asking for follows because it's so like it's like selling. It's like, no, you're giving reason why to follow. You're in this mindset of like, I gave them value, but now I'm asking to get something, and that's not me. I'm a giver. I'm not gonna get something. It's not about getting. It's about telling them, I want to give you more. Yes. All you have to do is stay here. I'm gonna give you more, and then you're not selling. And then if you keep giving, most people who jump on a one-on-one with me said, Aron, I've learned so much from you for free. Then I thought, holy crap! If I pay this guy, what else am I gonna get? Like if this is his free stuff. What am I going to get paid? And I'm saying this to everyone, not to say how amazing my content is, but to remind you to not be fearful of sharing your best tips, especially on TikTok. Because TikTok, I put out 400 videos. Jan said that he's a fan of me, but I can challenge him that he did not watch my 400 videos, every single one of them, right? Even if he loves my content, he's following me. And when something pops up, he watches it, and he may go, if he's got a question, go to my playlist and see, oh, I've got an editing question, a lighting question, and go in there. But nobody watches all your videos. We think that because I made a video on this already, now everybody knows. Look at my average watch time, which I'm very happy with now. It was very low a couple of months ago. Now I'm happy with it, which I'm averaging around, let's say, 20,000 views per video average, which is great. Good. Yeah. But I have 250,000 followers. So think about it. If average watch time is 20,000 on a video, and you have 200,000 followers, that's 180,000 people who have not seen your content. Yes. Yeah. But the views on a video, you check your analytics, at least 80 to 90, 95% came from the For You feed, which is mostly populated by people who do not follow you. So out of the 20,000 people, Most of them are not following you. So out of the 20,000 people, let's say at best 5,000 of your followers seen that video. So don't be afraid of putting it out, because my strategy is I'm going to give all my best tips. So no matter which video you click on, you're going to be like, this was freaking amazing. Next video, this was freaking amazing. Next one, this was freaking amazing. Now, why people say it's freaking amazing? Not because you're freaking amazing. It's because the content, the value you're giving to them, they feel, I could use this in my life.
Wow.
I love this. So it's not, if I give you now tips, you're thinking, I'm so happy, but it's not like, I love Aron. I love this tip because I can see myself using this tip. And if I use this tip, I can get towards my goals. And if I give you enough of these tips, you're like, by the way, what's your story, Aron? Like, I really want to know more about you. But people are starting with talking about like, hey guys, I am Aron. I specialize in giving video tips on TikTok, and then talk about me. That comes later. Right. First, you go in and you give. And imagine if somebody came into your door and say, hey, Jan, just real quick, there's a podcast tip I wanted to give you because I know you love podcasts. Here it is. Yeah, awesome. Just wanted to give you, I know you're into podcasts, and leaves. Like, whoa, that was an interesting idea. Let me try it. That shit worked. And the next day, the guy knocks. Hey, buddy, I just made this distinction. If you use the word follow, like here, it's going to really work. Like, bro, I just love helping people. I just wanted to give you this tip. Next. Then you like, who's this guy? I want to know more. And let me tell you this, he knocks the next day. Jan, I'm really struggling. I don't know if you can help me. I'm trying to start up, the business side of my podcast, and I'm just struggling with running ads. Do you have any experience? You'd be like, come on, sit down, let me help you. Yeah. But if a stranger knocked on your door who's always trying to sell you something, comes here, hey, would you like to buy my microphone? Would you like to, it's the best microphone. Let me tell you about the microphone. You'd be like, next day comes back, hey, I know I bothered you with the microphone. That wasn't a great idea. Now I have this amazing health product that will help you lose weight. This guy again trying to sell me. You're not going to let them in. But if somebody's always helping you, like today, someone is in my mentorship program, asked me a question about some advertising question. And my background is filmmaking, how to make engaging content that moves people to take action. My background is not how to optimize ads. I'm still learning. So I have a lot of knowledge in that. But I don't have 13 years of experience. I have a few months of experience. So I'm transparent. I say, hey, that's not my expertise, but let me get you answers. So I ask 5 marketing experts now, hey, what would you say to a client who asks this? And they give me their best tips. And people pay them thousands for consultation. They give it to me for free. And my client went, that's insane. Like, how can they give you all this information for free? I said, because I hold nothing back. Because they watch my videos, they learn so much. And when they DM me with a question, I give them my best answer. I don't say, here is a tip, but if you want the real answer, come buy my course or buy my mentorship or buy my one-on-one. Hold nothing back. And if you observe Gary V, who is super successful, he holds nothing back. And when you hold nothing back, 2 things happen. You become explosively an authority in your field because everybody sees how much you know. It's not like, oh, I heard this generic tip, because you're thinking, well, I have to give the generic tip because I've got so many valuable tips. If I gave it for free, who would pay me? People will pay you because you are the teacher they're like.
Ooh, guys, game over. Game over. That's like a master class there. He talk about giving everything, giving all, nothing, not holding anything back. That's a perfect example of what Aron did right now. We started from the mindset, technicalities, even like new concepts that he crafted at the moment he shared. Wow. For all our listeners and viewers, guys, this is a masterclass. Aron, thank you so much, man. Golden tips. That is valuable knowledge bombs that you shared. I'm sure. I mean, I learned a lot. People, our listeners and viewers, the tribe around you, they're in the TikTok world and beyond. Man, these are very important things that could help them in their journey towards success. Thank you so much, Aron. Love that. Love that. I am blown away, bro. My mind and my heart. I can't contain myself.
I saw some smoke coming out, but I thought that was your headphones.
But we are not done yet, my friend. You gave us a glimpse of your journey. You gave us values, and now it's time for you to play a game. It's a tradition here in the show. We call it the Creative Fast Talk. I'm going to be asking you a question, and you are not allowed to spend much time in thinking what the right answer would be. First word that comes into your
Love
mind,
it.
boom, shoot. All right.
Broccoli.
Am I being are the people on your TikTok live hearing me? No.
A little bit. I have a little speaker that I placed next to the bottom of my phone, so I wasn't keeping an eye on them. Hopefully, they are still awake.
Sure,
But I can
because
turn up the volume. I just didn't want any feedback on the microphone. Are you getting
no,
any feedback?
no, it's all good. The reason why I
Okay, great.
ask is because so that they know what is
I
he
turned it up.
saying.
Okay. Okay. Is there any feedback now?
Nope, all good.
Just say something. Okay, great. Okay,
All
now the
right, so
volume is way up, so people can hear the questions
all right,
now.
so at least they know what you're gonna be saying. So there's a context to it. All right, so guys,
Makes
let
sense.
me
Makes
just
sense.
repeat it again. Aaron now is in the stage where he will play a game. This is a tradition here in the show. It's called the Creative Fast Talk, where I ask Aaron here, our guest, a question, and he is not allowed to spend much time thinking what the right answer would be. The first word that comes into your mind, boom, shoot, ready. Are you ready, my friend?
Broccoli. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. First question, sun or snow?
Snow.
Structured or chaotic?
Structured.
Love or money?
Love.
If you were an animal, Aaron, what animal would you be and why?
Elephant, because I love how giant and kind they are.
Ooh, love that. Love that combination. Yeah. Giant and kind. Yeah. Love that.
Powerful and kind.
Actually, yes. Powerful and kind. Majestic being. All right. Next, passenger or driver?
Driver.
The mountains or the beaches?
Beaches.
All right. Next, Aaron, what are you afraid of?
Wasting time.
Ooh, deep, man. I like that. I like that. Okay, what's your
Can we
favorite color?
move on to the next one?
Yeah. What's your favorite color?
Navy. Navy blue.
Navy blue. All right. Okay. Movies or books?
Movies.
All right.
That was a tough one.
Since you answered that, the follow-up question is connected to movies. Name your top 3 movies of all time.
Matrix, Gladiator, and Braveheart.
Wow, man. Love those 3 movies. Love that. Love that. All right. Next, soap or toothbrush?
Toothbrush.
All right. Next, what is your dream superpower and why?
My ability to consume and retain books faster.
Whoa, that's knowledge, right? That's like ultimate.
And,
you're gonna be the source
why?
of it.
Because I believe that everything has been solved in the past already, and we can learn from our ancestors. And there's a lot of dormant knowledge that we can utilize. And I believe that once you are able to consume that fast, you are overloading your system, and then the way it breaks out from the overload is coming up with a genius new solution that may never existed before. But for that, you must gather all the information, process the information. It's the 3 levels of mastery. First one is you don't know what you don't know. The second level is like, oh, now I know what it is. The third one is you recognize what it is. Then you can utilize what you know, and eventually you master it to such degree that you now become a creator. You create within there. So if I can read and retain books faster, then that would be my superpower.
Wow. See, another snippet masterclass there, guys. Love that. Aaron, what is something always inside your bag when you were a kid?
Always inside my bag when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Football.
Oh, really? Wow, you're really
Always.
into that
I wanted
sport.
to be a professional football player. Yeah, I wanted to be. I played or soccer, wherever you're listening. I played it from when I was 12 till I was 19, and I had a 2-year gap because of Lyme disease. But other than that, I wanted to be a football player. So I always had a ball with me, and I was always playing and practicing. And
love that.
Because I'm just going to add this in quickly, because I believe in full immersion in one thing you love. That's how you become excellent. So full immersion means you always have a ball with you, because whenever you have time, you're practicing because you love it. But love in it in itself is not enough. Mindset in itself is not enough. You got to put into practice, but first you must have love and the mindset that will allow you to succeed eventually. Next question.
Wow. Man, you're just nonstop. You're just nonstop.
That's
I love
not waste time.
Last two questions.
I'm enjoying this.
Next question is, what is the weirdest food you've tried so far?
That's the thing. I don't think I tried enough weird foods.
Whenever you travel,
what would be a weird food?
There's like local cuisines, right?
Yeah, the local McDonald's are all the same. Just kidding. I haven't. Okay. I tell you what. So I haven't traveled enough to exotic places, and to any place that I've been that was fairly exotic in the last few years, I've already switched to being plant-based. So I would say it's like weird small animals that would be probably weird, like insects or fish or some weird like crocodile, like these things. Like because I don't eat animals anymore, then I'm just not exposed to that, and I haven't had any weird plant. Okay. I would tell you what it is: magic mushrooms. That's the most weird thing that I ate, if you ask me.
yeah, I've tried those. Yeah, it's nice. but yeah, insects. Insects is something that is, for always in the category of weird. When I was in Cambodia, we tried grub. You know what a grub is? So they're like a tree larva thing. They're supposed to be rich in protein. I don't know if they are, but it's either you choose fresh or fried. I tried the fried one. It tastes like fried garlic, but I am in no position to try the fresh one because they're moving, they're alive, and it's such a gooey experience. No.
I see.
Last question, my friend. This can turn into something serious depending on how you take the question. All right. It could not be, depending on you. If you have the power to bring back someone back from the dead, who would it be and why? Anyone?
I would say probably Jesus Christ, because I think he was someone who was at the highest level of possible human consciousness. And I believe that's the closest that we can get to become an intergalactical species. But we must expand. And I've got two missions in my life. First is to raise the consciousness level of humanity, including myself. I'm not saying I'm there yet, but that's what I'm working on every day. And I believe the higher your consciousness, the more fulfilled you are and the kinder you are to everything on this planet. And it's about going through the levels of consciousness. There's a way to measure it. It's a 0 to 1,000 scale. So Jesus was at 1,000, which is the enlightenment. Above enlightenment, he was completely, whether you believe in God or Jesus being the son of God, I would say we can bring up Buddha, or we can bring up Krishna, we can bring up all these spiritual leaders who experience that level of consciousness, which is, if you haven't experienced anything similar to what they may have experienced, you may be like, oh, this is a lot of like hoax going on here. But I had the privilege to experience something very profound when I realized, wow, you can truly expand your consciousness, which is like changing a channel on a radio. You're still the same receiver, but you are hearing or being aware of more information that is here. So that's my first mission in life, to raise the humanity's consciousness, along the way create an abundance of freedom and love for myself and others, and to heal what we have harmed on the planet, because the oceans are filled with plastic, the trees are being cut down, like there is a lot of bleeding happening, and I just don't think that a lot of animals right now deserve what we have done to this planet. We may deserve what we have done to ourselves, because if we're heading this way, we're going to go south big time. But we're pulling so many animals with us into the grave. If that happens, that I just doesn't sit with me as a loving and caring person. But if we just clean the oceans of plastic, if we just reforest it, we would still have the same problem. Because as Einstein said, you cannot solve a problem from the same level of thinking or the same level of consciousness that was created. You must solve it from higher. And the reason why I'm bringing up this quote is because the current average level of consciousness of humanity, which is around the 200 on that scale, it's producing these global problems. If we solve it, it's like helping an alcoholic to clean out the flat of alcohol and clean the flat. Come back a week later, you will see, oh, something is happening again.
Yeah.
2-3 weeks later, the flat is back to the same place, alcohol is back, because that
Right.
level of consciousness is creating the results. So if I'm just trying to clean the oceans of plastic, then the same consciousness will find another, will create another problem. So we must clean it up. It's not enough to just raise the
Clean it, yeah.
consciousness. Not, you got to clean it up, and you also have to raise the consciousness so we don't produce these scale problems again.
Amazing, man. Again, powerhouse again. So guys, I am just blown away. I feel your passion, I feel your intent, and I 100% agree in your drive. Man, thank you so much sharing your journey, giving values, having a good time in that fast talk, sharing knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb. Bro, anything you want to promote, your social accounts, projects, ebooks, or any online events, the floor is yours. Please do promote.
Thank you so much. Okay, I want to promote that we all realize and remember what we have forgotten, that we're all just one big family, the human family. And if we start thinking of every single person on this planet as family, we will start treating each other differently. And we realize that we don't have to play the us-them mentality, the us-them mindset, that we are the Hungarians and they are the Americans, or we have different color to the other people, or different gender, or whatever difference. As soon as we put these labels on each other and we believe these labels, it creates an illusion of separation. So I just invite all of you to realize and to remember that when you're helping and you're loving what you're doing, you have a fulfilled life, even if you don't have all the money and all the success in the material world. And that's what truly matters. And all my products and services are just a way for me to meet more people, to remind you of who you really are, and you're a loving and caring person. You may have acted out in the moment, you may have done something, but a moment does not define who you are. At the core, you know, we all know we are caring and loving people. And when we do something bad, it's because we're in a bad state or because we've been hurt so much. So instead of hating on each other, just help each other. And remember, you don't have to love someone to want to help them.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
And after listening to me, if you enjoyed, you know, my knowledge here, then you know where to find me, and you know that I offer my list of products and services. So I'm not here to, you know, promote any of that. What I'm promoting is what my life's mission is to unite the human family, to remember that the borders are made up. They are just lines on the map. Like you walk through a forest, a kid, like you tell a kid, oh, stop, come back, that's Germany. Like, what do you mean? It's made up. It's not true. The label, all the labels you put on each other, it creates a separation. And my life's mission is to remove as many labels from each other and from yourself, so you feel more connected to everyone, and the sum of all of us is one.
Love that, man. Thank you. Thank you for being such an awesome human being, enlightening us, giving us, you know, your perspective, your journey, and just being you. Thank you so much, Aron. Guys, please do connect with him. I'm sure Aron can help you in your journey towards success. Again, guys, always remember, have a positive outlook in life, smile, and God bless.